Where do you buy comic books? It seems like it should be the easiest question in the world, but unfortunately, that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, it just feels like whenever you ask anyone, everybody knows what a comic book is, but they haven't really interacted with them, let alone read one. Um, but if you know where to look, they're pretty easy to find. So there's three places that you can get your comic books. The first is going to be your LCS, the second is going to be on digital, and the third is online at a web store. Start with the LCS. Your LCS is going to be your local comic shop. That's what the acronym stands for. You go there in person and they're going to have all the recent books. So anything that's been coming out, if it hasn't sold out like crazy, it's going to be there. That's going to be your singles. That's going to be new trade paperbacks. Maybe they even have an old trade paperback section. You're gonna have probably some omnibuses if they have that, or a compendium. Maybe even a manga section if you're lucky. All kinds of good stuff. But it's especially gonna be the best place to get your recent stuff, because you're gonna have the most recent books, and you're not gonna have to pay shipping fees, anything like that. The people there are really nice. If you ask them questions, you're gonna have a good experience. They're gonna be happy to help you find a book, maybe even set up a pull list. We'll definitely talk about that in another video. The pull list is fantastic, but they're just really gonna help walk you through the experience, especially if you say, "Hey, I'm new to comics. I want to get into reading." It's gonna be great. So I would highly recommend the LCS. That's gonna be the best experience. That's gonna be the best place to buy your comic books. The next place you can go, you can buy digitally. This is gonna be the most cost-effective measure to read. You're gonna have, I mean, there's Global Comics, which is gonna be all your indie comics like Image, Dark Horse, any independent. It's gonna be on there. They even have some of the big two stuff. You also have the Marvel Unlimited app, which is going to be all your Marvel comics, and really good if you want to read classic stuff. DC Infinite, if you want to read their stuff. Very comprehensive, especially if you want to keep up on Absolute Batman. You want to jump in, going to be perfect. With Marvel and DC, you're going to be just fine. The comics are going to drop the same day they do in stores as they do online. With Global Comics, the con is that there is going to be a 3-month delay between the newest comic and when it actually goes up on digital. So there is that, but if you're not super worried about being on the most recent issue, I mean, it's going to be totally fine. So digital, that's going to be a really good way to go, especially if you're on a budget. Highly recommend it. I mean, you're going to be able to read anything. I mean, I'm sure there's so many comics and iconic storylines you've heard of and haven't been able to read because it's unaffordable or you just don't want to buy the trade. So go ahead and get the apps and you're going to be able to be set. Now, the third option is going to be digital web stores. So that could be things like Amazon, Third Eye Comics, really popular one, Golden Apple. There's all kinds of different digital web stores that sell comics. Really recommend it for pre-orders that you're worried your LCS doesn't pick up. Like, Bad Idea is a publisher that there are some comic shops that don't want to interact with them. But if you go on a digital web store, they carry them most of the time. So you're going to be in better luck if like your comic shop for whatever reason doesn't want to buy like a certain book. You just go on digital and buy it. It's really good for pre-orders. They're really good about handling that and not screwing you over on that. I will say the con is with doing the digital stores is that you're going to pay shipping. It's going to be pricey too. Comic books, they're sensitive. And I mean, we have a culture that you want to have a high grade copy. So they're going to go all out for you. They're going to get you the cardboard. They're going to get you the bag and board, all this stuff. But it's going to cost you. I mean, I've seen shipping range from $5 to $13. So you got to be selective with your store. I wouldn't be paying a crazy amount on shipping. Anything more than $5, I'm probably not going to do it. I mean, you could even go on eBay if it's a really special back issue that you just have to have, you can go on eBay. But you got options with digital shopping, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to be like little fees here and there. And it can take a comic that's reasonably priced, and with shipping factored in, you're paying $10, $15, $20 over market value. And so it kind of sucks the fun out of it. But that being said, I mean, that gives you so much access to so many different books. In summary, we covered the LCS, digital, and online shopping. Those are going to be the best places to look for comic books. I know I said it earlier, but I can't stress it enough. If you were fortunate enough to have an LCS within reasonable driving distance of your house, go. I'm telling you, it's the best. Like, you're going to have a great experience. You're going to be amazed by all the recent comic books that are coming out that you've seen online. If you've never been to an LCS before, you're going to love seeing all these comic books that you see online or on YouTube and be like, wow, I can hold these in my hand. Like, that's crazy. I mean, you're going to see comic books probably in glass cases that you're like, whoa, that's super valuable. I've never seen that before in person. Like, you'll see that there. You're going to talk to people that know what comic books are and like understand like what you're probably going to be interested in. And like, that's going to be the people working there. There's going to be other people there. And I promise you, if you get in this hobby long enough, you're going to find somebody and you're going to start a conversation and you're probably going to be friends with them. That's how like basically everyone on this channel became friends. It's because we were at LCSs, we were hanging out, we started talking, and we just became friends from there. So the LCS, you're gonna get super cool comics, and hey, you may even just make friends and build a community there. So highly recommend the LCS. Go pick up some comic books and keep reading.